Yeah, hand-cut fries, filet mignon.
Okay, that's
the lava cake. You know when you press it and like it gets like oozy. They got a lava cake.
Hey guys, what's going on? Paul Revelia here from Physique.com. Wanted to do an update video following my competition 2 weeks ago. The first video I put out following the competition was basically a lot of the footage from a couple of the days leading up to the competition and at the competition, and then following, you know, what I did after. Basically, I was on vacation with my family, so overall it was a wonderful experience. But I wanted to speak more specifically on what my thoughts were on men's physique. So what I'm going to start with is first, why did I decide to do a men's physique show? So being 39 years old, I've been around the sport for a long time and grew up reading, of course, the magazines from the late 80s and early 90s when bodybuilding was dominated by some freaks and guys that I really admired. You know, when the Dorian Yates and the Lee Haneys and even into the Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman area, I really loved buying the magazines and looking at the pictures, and even looking back at guys like Arnold and Franco and Zane, the you know, the 60s and 70s bodybuilders. I even have some classic magazines from that era. And so men's physique, when it first came out to me, was kind of a joke. The first couple shows that I went to, I saw the guys that were competing in men's physique, and I thought, you know, this is terrible. I don't want to see this. I actually left a couple shows in Orlando just because I didn't want to see the new division. It didn't appeal to me. And over the last couple of years, as I've been attending more and more shows, the physiques in the men's physique class have started to become more and more impressive, to the point where now some of the men's physique guys impress me more than the bodybuilders. They come in better shape, leaner, fuller, just better overall look. And I think some of the talent that's out there is now actually choosing the men's physique division over bodybuilding. For what reason? I don't know. Perhaps it's because it's more of a desired look for, you know, the newer generation of lifters. It gives people something to aspire to that don't want to get as big as Jay Cutler and Ronnie Coleman and Phil Heath and Kai Green and Dennis Wolf and all the, you know, the current greats of bodybuilding. Not that I have to worry about getting that big, but I do think that the 60s, 70s, and 80s bodybuilders kind of drew people in because there was maybe a little bit of thought that, you know what, I could attain that look, or that is a desirable look. Well, maybe men's physique is doing that now. So whatever the reason, the men's physique class has a lot of talent in it now, to the point where some of the physiques that I see on stage in a men's physique show, I'm like, damn, those guys look awesome. The fact that they're wearing board shorts, sure, it still is a bit of a turnoff to me, but that's the division, that's what it is. So this year, I basically started dieting at the beginning of the year, January, February time frame. I just said, you know what, I had put on too much weight, I had moved 3 times, we had had a baby, I had still kept training, but my diet had not been where it needed to be. I wasn't as active. So I basically decided at the beginning of the year, you know what, let's just start losing some weight for no purpose. I just want to get leaner. I want to feel better so that I can compete in 2016. I didn't want to start off from a really high body fat set point and have to diet all the way down. So I figured I would just diet down to, say, 220 and sit there. Well, when I got to 220, I still felt great. I wasn't doing any steady state cardio. I wasn't restricting myself in any way. I was still eating whatever I wanted. My wife and I had, in our new home, been able to be really consistent with cooking. So my diet had become very consistent, become very good at, you know, hitting my goals every day, repetitive and being consistent. And honestly, I just got to the point where I started to look at myself and say, you know, I'm not too far off. Step in Lauren Conlon, who is an IFBB bikini pro, and she also works for Physique as my stage presence coordinator for all my female clients that compete in the NPC and IFBB. So when she told me that she wanted to do the Tampa Pro, it kind of got the gears turning. I said, you know what, I wouldn't mind doing the Tampa Pro, but I'm not going to be lean enough to do bodybuilding. And obviously at an NPC show, there's going to be some guys that are a lot bigger than me in bodybuilding anyway. So I thought, you know what, maybe I'll try out men's physique. And at first it was just a thought, and I started throwing it around to people like Lane, people like obviously Lauren, my wife, and the feedback that everyone gave me was, you'd be really good in that division. I carry a decent amount of muscle. I think my shape and structure do well. And at 6'3" in bodybuilding, that can be a real hindrance. But in men's physique, height is still a good quality to have. So the Tampa Pro was approaching, and I was kind of getting the feeling that I wasn't going to be lean enough to get on stage there. So Lauren's last show was the NPC Naples Pro-Am. It was a first-year show, so it was a first-year NPC show as well. So I thought, okay, I'm not diving into like a national qualifier here that's going to be loaded up with, you know, future pros from top to bottom. I won't have to put any stress on myself. It was the last week of August. So what my wife and I did was we actually planned a vacation for the same week of the show. So now I had turned competing into not the end goal, but just another part of the process for me. And it started to get exciting. I found myself training a little bit harder, being more consistent with dieting even than I was before. And I even started adding in some cardio, but not to the point where it bothered me. I actually was feeling good. I was actually looking forward to doing a little bit of cardio, looking forward to eating, looking forward to seeing the changes on the scale and in the mirror. And lo and behold, it came and went, and I had an awesome time. So that's why I did men's physique. It was because everything just kind of lined up for it. I was impressed by the physiques. I thought it would be a good division for myself, and it seemed like a good way to keep myself motivated, as dieting, you know, for long periods of time, I needed something else at that point, and it worked out perfect. And I had a great time with Lauren at the show. We stayed at the hotel where the show was at, which was an awesome experience. I had a lot of fun. The show was organized very well for most of the people, but it seems like for men's physique, they kept moving us around when we were supposed to be on stage, which at a bodybuilding show, that would have freaked me out because I didn't get to pump up at all on one occasion, and on the other occasion they told us we were going on in 10 minutes and it was an hour, so then I would have been flattened out. So I was glad from the perspective that I was doing men's physique. Will I do men's physique again? I don't know. I enjoyed it a lot. I thought after the show, you know, I could do this again. I could have been leaner. My posing could have been better. Both, you know, were good, but not fantastic. So I know I have room to improve. Obviously, I didn't win the overall. Well, I don't know if you know that, but I took second in the open class, which was 14 guys, and the guy that won my class won the overall. So of course that got the wheels spinning. I would like to perhaps win an overall at a men's physique show. That would be the next step for me for a goal. So I may do men's physique again. But here's the caveat. The NPC just announced a new division. It's called Classic Physique. Now, the idea behind this division is basically they're going to wear a short, so you will be displaying your legs, but they will not be wearing posing trunks. You will not be hitting all the mandatory poses that you hit in bodybuilding. They announced 5 poses that you will be hitting. That's likely to change. There's probably things going to be to change. They described the division as muscular, too muscular for men's physique, but not so big that you're a bodybuilder and that your proportions are out of shape. They actually have height and weight requirements. So for a certain height, you can't be over a certain weight. I don't have to worry about that. At 6'3", I think the weight limit was 232, and I compete around, you know, a little over 200 pounds. So not a concern for me there. But at an NPC show, if I was going to do a national qualifier for bodybuilding at 6'3", the guys my height are 270, 280 on stage, maybe more. So they are creating basically a gap between bodybuilding and men's physique. For the guys that want to show off their entire physique, not just their legs, they also said they're going to downsize a bit of the men's physique, go more after the aesthetics, less after the more muscular guys, and try to get them to do the classic physique division. So this is something that interests me quite a bit. Now, the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio every year, they had a division for the last couple of years called Men's Classic Bodybuilding, which was the same exact premise. except it was still bodybuilding. They still wore posing trunks, but it had the height and weight rules. And I had actually considered doing that sometime in the future. Who knows, maybe even in 2016. So this type of division was already kind of going in my head, and I had been talking about it. And I guess I had mentioned it to a few people that I was thinking about doing the classic bodybuilding, because when they announced this NPC thing, I must have gotten 10 to 15 emails, texts, notifications of the division when they put the video up on NPC News Online. And if you're interested, I'll put the link below for the announcement. So I am interested in the men's classic physique. And here's the other thing that's going on right now. Post-contest, let's say the week of the contest I was around 205. It's 2 weeks later, I'm doing next to no cardio, and I'm 207, and I'm eating more. So I'm finding a really good groove with diet, with training, with lifestyle that's going to allow me to stay in a good position so that I can compete in the future and not feel like I have to commit like to a 24-week contest prep where, you know, where it's do or die in 24 weeks. I can kind of target shows based on being a couple months out and really just put my nose to the grind for that reason. And that kind of excites me. I've never done that before. I've always post-contest immediately gone into get huge mode. Being a tall, thin guy that I am, I used to be comfortable at 230 pounds. Anything less and I've just felt skinny. But I gotta say, like at 207 pounds, like right now, I feel great. I'm happy with my performance in the gym. I'm doing some powerlifting still. Overall, the way I'm eating, I'm happy. I'm happy with my energy levels and focus. I'm not. There was a couple weeks there towards the end of the diet there where I noticed myself getting a little short-tempered, and my wife even mentioned it. So, but at this weight in the past, I would have been not so happy, either on the way down dieting or on the way reversing it. But for whatever reason, be it my age, my experience, the fact that I've gone through this process, 4 times now for contest prep, I'm happy here. So I'm going to be hanging around this weight and condition while continuing to add in calories and get stronger, so that competing next time around is not going to be as difficult for me. It's going to be a much more enjoyable process. So when they start announcing some classic physique shows, who knows? I may try them early in 2016. So those are my thoughts on classic physique. The last thing I wanted to talk about was the Mr. Olympia week, which is a week from today, which is crazy because time just be flying. So I will be getting into Las Vegas on Thursday afternoon, and I can't wait to go to the expo. I'm going to be at the Barbell One booth both Friday and Saturday. Some fantastic people are going to be at the booth, like Lane Norton, of course, and John Bossy, the owner. He's got some other people like Liana Carr are going to be there, and I haven't even paid attention. It's probably some other really good people that are going to be there. But overall, if you're going to the Olympia, just come by and stop and say, hey, it'd be really great to meet anybody that happens to watch this vlog or just follows me for any reason. I'm a big fan of interacting, and I really go to the Olympia for that purpose, to meet up with people and to just, get outside of my comfort zone and see some people that, from other walks of life, other parts of the world. I can still remember meeting people in Finland and Columbus this year. It's just great to get out and meet people. One final update on my home gym. So I'm standing here in the home gym, obviously, but something really cool happened. So if you look at right here, these boxes from Rogue, my clients on my team page, which is a private page locked only for current former clients, and they all chipped in and bought me something, which kind of shocked me. Like I honestly had no idea what was going on, but just as a way of saying thank you, they all chipped in and bought me this Rogue deadlift platform, which is something I was actually eyeing purchasing next. They actually worked with my wife and Lane. And when I went to the NPC Naples Pro-Am show, after prejudging, I walked outside, and one of my clients and friends, Jason Parisi, came up to me and said, hey, I've got something in the truck I need to give you. And I didn't think much of it. He opened the back of the truck, and there was these Rogue boxes, and he showed me a picture of what it was. And it probably didn't even hit me for like the whole day, maybe even till Jason, by the way, drove from Sarasota to drop it off at my house after the show. So thank you to Jason, but most importantly, thank you to all the clients and friends that chipped in for that. Like, you know, I love what I do as a coach, and I would never expect anything like that, but it's just, it's very gratifying to know that people appreciate you beyond. I mean, believe me, I'm getting paid. I don't coach for free, so they're already, you know, it's kind of hard to put into words to be appreciated that way. So what I'm going to be doing tomorrow is I have someone coming to help me. I'm renting a pickup truck. I am cleaning the garage out. So if you see, there's a big mess over here. And then I also purchased a leg press machine, which needs to be put together. There's the bar for it. So tomorrow, I'm going to be copying this side. So you see how the flooring is over here? So tomorrow, I'm actually going to be going and purchasing more flooring. I'm going to get some dollies to help me move the leg press equipment around, and I'm going to be putting the leg press, the deadlift platform together, putting the leg press into position, and the home gym is going to be taking a big step forward because now I can do lower body workouts at home. Previously, it was mostly just upper body stuff that I was doing here, and in Florida, it starts to cool off around October, so I will be doing some more footage in the home gym in the near future. That's it for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Next video is going to be probably in a few days from now. I've got some really cool stuff going on this week. More on that very soon. But for now, men's physique, that was my experience. Home gym, upgrade, Olympia. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in Las Vegas, hopefully.